What up, y'all? I'm back for another video. Before I get started, because since I'm not gonna do a video on this movie, I saw it in theaters. It was called The Boogeyman. Apparently, it's based off like a Stephen um, King novel. Never read it, so just kind of judging it as a movie. And it's called The Boogeyman. The premise is pretty much this family moves in this house, and because the dad is like a therapist, kind of is a therapist, and because this dad ends up is plagued with this creature that can basically use your fears against you, and then is eventually his kids see it because the dad that happened to his kids because his kids got killed ends up getting killed in their house, so it basically kind of spreads. And overall, I think it had a good environment. Here's my problem with the movie: it dragged. It was an hour and a half, but it felt like 2 hours. It felt long. Like, it was weird because it was like it's an hour and a half movie, but there were points where it was just dragging. It was just like, okay, can we go? Can we? Yeah, can we go? Like, it was just like, because like it was like, I don't know how long it was, but it was like up until the point where they kind of basically explained what the actual creature is, and they took too long to get there. I think like they could have trimmed it down a bit. You follow this main character. Her name is Sadie. I also think I would have tweaked the film where it was the dad. I get it. You had to have the kids see it. You got to have that trope. The kids see it, and the dad doesn't believe them. I get it. You have to do that. And the theme throughout is he doesn't listen to her, which is like whatever. But the movie itself is fine. I think there's good scares. I think there's genuinely good like horror moments. It's set well. So I think everything else is relatively good. The characters are decent enough. It's just it drags a bit. I think you could have trimmed it down easily. You could have trimmed it down. But aside from that, it's a solid flick. I'd recommend it. I mean, if you don't want to see anything made like Spider-Verse, which I'm actually going to review on later this week, which I guess I'll go into. I don't fully have I have a rough idea what I got planned this week. Tomorrow for sure is going to be 88, my 1988 list. I haven't decided a number yet. But it will be my 88 list. And we'll probably just find out when I'll do it, because I fully don't have an idea, because I'll be honest, I've been kind of busy this weekend, so I haven't fully worked on my list yet. I have my roughly my top 5. I don't have a full number yet, but I'll have a full number by tomorrow. So my top 88 list for movies. Tuesday will be A View to a Kill. Wednesday will be Stig recommended me a bunch of movies, so I'll probably look in my messages he sent me and pick one of those, and we'll review that. And then Thursday, I'll do Spider-Verse. And then Friday, this will be the, I'll do, since we're, in Jurassic June, I kind of want to do because I've been kind of talking about this movie the last few weeks, I want to do an in defense of Jurassic Park: The Lost World, because I feel like a lot of people down it, and I've just been seeing a lot of negativity towards it, so I kind of want to explain why I love that movie so much. So I'll do that video on Friday, and then on the weekend, since I'm not seeing anything, at least I don't plan on to anyway, I don't give a fuck about the new Transformers, so I don't want to spend too long on this. So Friday, I'll first time in a while I haven't done a wrestling related video, so I figured someone I talked to in the chat, Tyler, recommended me to do this, so fuck it, I'll do it. Top 10 wrestling matches. So, but before I get into that, before we get all in that later in the week, I want to talk about this shitty Screenrant article that I found the other day. I showed it to my friend Wicked, and she talked about it in her stream, but I figured, why not I talk about it, because I really love Buffy, and they did an article about basically how its legacy, essentially what they were trying to say is that because Joss Whedon's a douchebag, and the whole behind the scenes stuff, that it taints its legacy, which it's such a stupid dog shit argument because it's like saying, okay, what about every movie Weinstein's been involved in? Weinstein is and the Weinstein Company have been involved in some of the biggest and most famous films in all the Scream movies, or at least the first three, probably four, honestly, too. Weinstein Company were involved in. So should I not be a Scream fan? And what Weinstein did was actually worse. Joss Whedon, really just gonna, from the sounds of it, you hear the stories, was just a douche. That doesn't ruin the show. I rewatched Buffy twice last year, and rewatching it now, I have no problem watching the show. And then what else? And this is even the worst part, because what they said there, that's cringe. Because it's like, okay, Joss is a douchebag, but that doesn't ruin the show. The show is still a well-written show. I mean, there's a reason it's a beloved show that a lot of people often bring up as one of their favorite TV shows of all time. 7 seasons of greatness. I mean, even I said it. Yeah, 7 is not my favorite season in the world, but it's still decent enough to where, if you combine it with the whole show, it's still a really good series. Joss Whedon being a douchebag doesn't ruin that, because if you're to be honest, if you look at some of the shit, I love Alfred Hitchcock. I love Stanley Kubrick, but they had their moments of being kind of shitty to their actors. So, does that ruin? If there's really The Shining, Kubrick was kind of a douche on that set. That doesn't ruin the movie for me. Like, that's stupid. Like, and I know that's like a lesser example, but, there's a lot of examples, like, that doesn't magically ruin the movie. But really, the bigger part that I had a problem with that article was that they were saying, because this was basically them dropping their real opinion. They basically said a reboot would give a chance to, because they're basically complaining, the original show didn't have, basically said not as much black characters or minority characters, which is just... That's not even true. You had Kendra from season 2, even though, she was only around for a couple episodes, but she existed. You had Woods in season 7, and he survived in the end. And if you're going to go Buffy first, and I don't know necessarily it's not Buffy's, I think the articles about Buffy specifically didn't even mention Angel. But to me, they are kind of one and the same in the sense they're in the same universe. You had Gunn. He's a big character in that universe. Like, what the fuck? And it's just weird. I don't need a black guy in Buffy to enjoy Buffy. Buffy's about a 16, teenage white girl. And I can still enjoy it. It's this weird, and then you have Willow, right? Because they obviously brought up, they need more LGBT when literally Willow was gay. Yeah, she was bi, but pretty much they made her gay for, the rest of the series. She never went back to a guy. She's pretty much gay for the rest of the show. After once they put her with Tara. So it's and then they brought up a weird point that male entitlement from Xander specifically, which is what are you talking about? Xander's the one who has no powers. Giles is trained in magic. Literally, there's even an episode where Xander, this was in season 3, where they had to kind of leave. He has almost his own episode because he was doing his own thing because the rest of the Scooby Gang, because they all had other ones had powers. Willow was doing magic. Magic. Faith was this other Slayer. Giles could do magic, whereas Xander was just a guy, so he kind of they left him out intentionally. That was the whole point of the episode. So it's and then even going to the other point, male entitlement, his love life was kind of bad, for to be honest, throughout the show. Like, yeah, Buffy kind of had it rough in the relationship department, but we're being fucking honest here. Xander did. I mean, his only real steady relationship was with a demon chick, and even then, that didn't fully end great with Anya. The other chicks he was with were literally, like, trying to kill him. You know, you had the praying mantis girl, you had a mummy chick. Yeah, so it's like, so that's a weird point. But more my bigger point is the whole, they feel like, you know, there needs to be more black characters. Like, how would that magically make it great? What made Buffy great is the great storytelling and the great characters that, you know, we kept with these core group of characters for 7 seasons. And that's what made it great. Not fucking, it didn't matter if Xander was a white guy. He was just a good character. But, if we had some random black character or whatever that somehow magically change it, it's like, no, that won't save the show. I don't need that. That's not why I watch the show. Good storytelling. And then adding the gay thing just doesn't even make sense. They're basically saying the original show didn't even do enough because, there was only one gay character, so we just had to have multiple. But it doesn't matter if they're dog shit. We know. I mean, I've joked. Me and my friend Disparu, have made a fucking woke Buffy, basically, that, like, how it would be made today. It would just be, she would definitely not be white, but she would be a Mary Sue. She would just be inherently good at everything. Giles wouldn't be a man. Xander would probably be gay. And not gay just because they're a good character. Gay because, sorry about that. But also just because they have to. And they would just be gay. And then you would have episodes about, like, whatever agenda they have to push. It wouldn't be, like, fucking, just genuinely done. And just you wouldn't have that chemistry what made the original show. That's why a reboot truly wouldn't work. Like, take out whatever, like, the woke shit and all that. It wouldn't work because you wouldn't have that chemistry. The chemistry between the whole Scooby gang and that core audience, and then, you know, you throw Spike in there, you just wouldn't have that with a new one. A new one would just be like a shitty version of that. Just think a shitty version of that. And I don't want that. And the fact that Screenrant is calling for it, obviously, they're doing it for clickbait reasons. But hey, I get to call Screenrant gay for a 4th fucking time. I don't fucking care. And the fact that they think, like, we need more black characters to save the show, or even though it was already an amazing show that literally everyone watches. That's like, a lot of people's favorite TV shows of all time. I see Buffy in there, like, in their list, at least somewhere. So the fact that it's beloved by everybody, doesn't matter the skin color. You know, I'm black and I fucking watch the show. I don't need, like, a black character to be in the show for me to love it, you know? It's weird. I mean, I've always say this, but my favorite character is fucking Superman and Batman. They're not black. So I don't need characters to look like me to, anyway. But it's just weird. Screenrant are fucking gay. So I just wanted to make this video because the fact that they think, like, and also just going back to the whole Joss's toxic behavior, it doesn't ruin the show. I can still watch the show. If we're gonna be honest, I mean, look at fucking Kevin Spacey. I can still watch Usual Suspects, if I'm being honest. I can still watch Seven. I can watch really any movie he's in if it's genuinely a good movie. Because I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't matter. You gotta separate the artist from the art, you know. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't blame people who don't, but for me personally, then obviously in Joss' case, he's just a fucking douchebag. I mean, I'm not necessarily excusing it, but he's just a douchebag. A douche on set, I mean, like, isn't necessarily, like what Kevin Spacey did, what Weinstein did or worse, but where are those articles? But Buffy has a tainted legacy according to Screenrant. Basically, that's what they're saying. I'm gonna ad-lib it. I mean, they didn't say that. They didn't use the word tainted legacy, but that's basically what they're fucking saying. Because, oh, Joss was a douche on set. So, oh, we could just make a more woke Buffy. That's basically, it was almost like it was like that was obviously just the way to get to that second point. They don't actually think, I don't even think they will genuinely believe that. I think they just want a woke Buffy. So, anyway, I wanted to get my thoughts about that because fuck that shit. Fuck Screenrant. So, I'm always down. If I find another one, there'll be a part 5 for sure. Because Screenrant, I have no problem. I don't mind smacking them around. It's been fun. It's fun. So tomorrow I'll be doing a positive video, talking about my favorite movies from 1988. Number one, I'll spoil it, is Die Hard. I mean, Die Hard is probably like my favorite action film of all time. It's that or T2, but if we're going just straight up action, no sci-fi element into it, then yeah, it's Die Hard. I mean, Die Hard is how you do an action film, so that will definitely be on there. For sure, Child's Play, so I'll mention 2. But yeah, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. But other than that, cheers and peace out. But fuck Screenrant. They're fucking gay. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.